One of our top stories this morning, a man convicted of killing his wife, his sister-in-law, and her husband in a small south-central Montana town has been sentenced to 300 years in prison. Robert James LeCoux was sentenced Friday to 3 consecutive 100-year terms for the April 2016 deaths of 54-year-old Karen Hill LeCoux, 72-year-old Sharon Hill Lamb, and 76-year-old Lloyd Lamb in Belfry. The victims' bodies were discovered April 7th of last year after a neighbor grew suspicious about a lack of activity at the house. It's believed they were shot 2 days earlier. LeCoux was arrested in Washington state. Court records said LeCoux and his wife had moved in with the older couple about 6 months earlier to help care for Lamb. LeCoux served 10 years in prison for his role in a 1999 beating death of a homeless man in Texas. Missoula mayoral candidate Lisa Tripke violated Montana's campaign laws by filing incomplete and inaccurate campaign finance reports. So says a report issued on Friday by Montana Political Practices Commissioner Jeff Mangan, stemming from a complaint filed in September by Democrat state legislator Ellie Hill Smith, and released the day that ballots for the municipal election arrived in the mail.
For example, they disclosed a $10,923 expenditure to a vendor for advertising, and when in fact that was 10 different invoices that added up to that amount for a variety of different services.
Mangan said his office is waiting to see how quickly Tripke's campaign can resolve the issues reported in the complaint. It'll first be considered by the Lewis and Clark County Attorney's Office.
Assuming it gets kicked back to us, we'll work on settling and getting this settled civilly with them. But I would suspect there will be a fine or some kind of additional action that'll happen. But at this point, we certainly want them to get their current campaign finance report up to date and complete as they can based on all their expenditures to date.
Mangan said he did not believe that the Tripke campaign reached out to his office for guidance on how to properly file campaign finance reports. University of Montana President Sheila Stearns has contacted Professor Mike Adams, whose invitation to address the School of Journalism was retracted by Dean Larry Abramson recently, to let him know he has not been banned altogether from speaking on campus.
You're not banned from speaking at the university, and as far as I'm concerned, as president, you will always receive a safe and respectful reception if you come here to speak, and that I really believe that content or possibly political points of view should never be a consideration in scheduling our campus event.
When asked about journalism, Dean Larry Abramson's retraction of his invitation to speak for the Cole Scholarship Lecture, she said that was his own decision.
Whether or not a specific academic faculty or dean or schools or colleges connect or sponsor a speaker, that's a whole different issue as to whether they're invited to speak on campus, because that usually includes whether they're invited to be part of the curriculum or part of classes, and the administration doesn't get involved in that.
After this incident, though, Maria Cole, sponsor of the Cole Lecture Series at the Journalism School, said she's now reconsidering the structure of the series itself.
I at least want some time to step back after this is all over and let the dust clear a little bit, and then think a little bit about how I would like to structure it. And maybe it's just a simple restructure, and maybe I take it in a different direction altogether, but I think it definitely deserves some thought.
The refusal by Dean Abramson to allow Adams to speak drew national attention to UM. Officials in western Montana are warning hikers to use care after a mountain lion was spotted. Lewis and Clark County Sheriff Leo Dutton said the mountain lion was seen on the south side of Mount Helena. The Independent Record reports that a state wildlife agency also found a deer killed in the same area on Saturday. Dutton says mountain lion attacks on humans are extremely rare. To be safe, hikers, though, should keep any children in the middle of a group. If hikers see a mountain lion, Dutton said they should not turn their back or run, but instead keep eye contact, make loud noises, and wave their arms to appear larger. If an animal does attack, Dutton says people should try to protect their neck and fight back. Missoula County Attorney's Office dealt with a handful of new cases this past week. County Attorney Kirsten Pabst explains.
We had a criminal endangerment case. There was a child endangerment case where a woman was allegedly DUI and speeding with 2 little kids in the back of the car, a 2-year-old and a 7-year-old. We had a theft case, a couple of methamphetamine cases, an additional drug case that was a possession with intent to distribute.
In addition to all those cases, Pap said her office also looked at 2 separate violent crimes.
We had a couple new violent crimes that we charged. One was a third offense partner family member assault. We also had an aggravated assault that was interesting in that it resulted from a bar fight where the suspect allegedly just punched the victim in the face. What we'd think of as a typical bar fight that resulted in serious bodily permanent injury to the victim.
According to Paps, they see more bar fight crimes than people would like to believe. She asked that people really think about the consequences before getting into any sort of fist fight, because more often than not, a felony can be issued. A Western Montana man is wanted by the FBI for various drug crimes, according to spokesperson Sandra Yee Barker from the FBI's Salt Lake City office.
The FBI today announced that we're offering a reward up to $2,500 for the arrest of Jason Mell. He is wanted for his alleged involvement in heroin trafficking in Montana and Utah. A federal arrest warrant was issued for Mell in Missoula on September 21st, 2017.
Barker provides a description of the suspect.
So Jason Mell is described as being between 5'9" to 5'10". He has brown hair. He may be bald and wear his facial hair in a full beard with a mustache, and he's about 180 pounds. We have a tip line for this specific case, so please call the FBI Salt Lake City's tip line at 801-579-6189.
And you can click on the link on our story on newstalkkgvo.com to see the actual wanted poster. Finally, 2 companies have revised their health insurance rates for the Montana marketplace after the president ended subsidies for low to moderate income policyholders under the Affordable Care Act. Insurance Commissioner Matt Rosendale said Pacific Source will raise its premiums by an average of 13.1% compared to the 7.4% submitted when the cost-sharing reduction payments were in place. The Montana Healthcare Co-op increase went from 4% to 16.6%. Our News Talk time now is 6:12.
News Talk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station. Isolated sprinkles and showers will be possible early today, but by the afternoon, we'll see a mix of sun and clouds, with our daytime high topping out in the low 50s. Tonight, patchy areas of fog will form after midnight, with our overnight lows right around the freezing mark. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster, KECI 13.